Headlines: Government pledges to support Kantanka technological products. Also in this bulletin, National Media Commission to set up standard by which content of electronic media will be assessed. And on the foreign front, Benin Prime Minister Lionel Zinsou survives helicopter crash. Hello, good evening, and many thanks for joining us. This is the news live on your own news channel, GBC24. We are also live on Ghana Television. My name is Akbene Avo Ajaja. The National Media Commission is to set up a minimum standard by which the content of the electronic media will be assessed. The standards will be in line with international best practices and will conform to constitutional guarantees of freedom of expression and the independence and freedom of the media. The chairman of the NMC, Mr. Kwesi Jana-Penting, who announced this at the inauguration of the Ashanti Regional Media Advisory Committee, said the regulations are in public interest and will make the electronic media more alive to its responsibilities. The regional advisory committees are to aid the NMC to implement its mandate. This is because the NMC is understaffed. 4 regions will have their committees inaugurated after Kumasi. A Kumasi High Court judge, Mr. Samuel Obeng-Diewu, swore in the new members. A former chairman of the NMC, Mr. Paul Edujemfi, who is one of the initiators of the concept of regional advisory committees, is the chairman of the 7-member committee. He promised to work hard to ensure that the mandate of the commission is fulfilled. The executive secretary of the NMC, Mr. George Sapong, said the commission will ensure the media remains focused on its role and avoid acts that are likely to throw the nation into chaos.
We want every one of us to support the committee as the committee works to promote peace between the media and the citizens of the nation, as the committee works to find ways to harness the positive parts of media and to reduce tensions or whatever fears any one of us may have about irresponsible media practice.
The NMC chairman, Mr. Jana-Penting, explained that the regional media advisory committees will serve as a backup for the commission, which is under-resourced. He said the switch from analog to digital television will create opportunities for more broadcast channels in Ghana. It is for this reason that attention must be paid to broadcasting content so that the nation does not turn a positive resource and asset into a cause for regret and pain. The NMC also plans to set up an ombudsman system for the media. Still in the Ashanti region, the Asante Hinotumfo Tutu has advised the chiefs under him to continue to exhibit their neutrality even as the country enters an election year. He said they should guard against making utterances that will give people the impression that they are for or against any political party. Otumfo Tutu gave the advice at a meeting of the Ashanti Regional House of Chiefs in Kumasi.
The meeting of the Ashanti Regional House of Chiefs is a statutory requirement and is the second to be held this year. The House considered recommendations made by all the committees on issues discussed at their meetings. Also at the House was the Acting Chief Executive Officer of the National Health Insurance Scheme, Mr. Nathaniel Otu, to brief the chiefs on the current development within the National Health Insurance Scheme. Mr. Otu admitted to members of the House that the NHIS is bedeviled with challenges, but that steps are being taken to reposition the scheme to make it better able to stand the test of time.
For healthcare, last year, 2014, yetuya 1,077,000 Ghana cedi. Ema healthcare ewokrumha. This year, you expect to see a bit 1.247 billion. Next year, you expect to see a bit almost 1.5 billion. And so sources of funds near Brunibese maybe a sikani fiba no static.
Otumfuo said to commended members for their support during the year, adding that their support in various forms will also be needed next year in the resolution of disputes relating to stools of the house which have remained vacant for years. The Asantehene said 2016 being an election year, chiefs and Asanteman should be mindful of the constitutional provision that bars chiefs from active partisan politics and not to do anything that will bring the chieftaincy institution into disrepute. With the onset of the Hamilton, Otumfuo said to urge the chiefs to, as a matter of urgency, liaise with the officers of the Ghana National Fire Service in their various communities to sensitize their subjects on ways of preventing the outbreak of fire in their homes and farms.
Let's move to the Eastern region now. The centenary celebration of the St. Andrew's Catholic Church at Achim Swedru in the Birim South District has been climaxed with the dedication of a 400,000 Ghana cedi parish hall. The Archbishop of Accra, the Most Reverend Charles Palmer Buckle, paid tribute to the founding fathers of the church and asked the congregation to carve a niche for themselves so that they will also be remembered by future generations.
The Achim Swedru St. Andrew's Catholic Church was started by a late catechist, Mr. Yalbio, from Cape Coast with his two children, Kate and Solomon, to sow the seed. The church, which was started with only 14 members, now has branches in the parish, which include Achima Diemra, Ewisa, and Eduasa. The Archdiocesan Bishop of Accra, the Most Reverend Charles Palmer Buckle, in a homily, advised them not to use the anniversary only for jubilation, but to think of how they can also bear fruit like the predecessors of the church.
You know what I demand from all of you? We need good Christian families in Achim Swedru. Because it is when the families are good, based on marriage, the sacrament of holy matrimony, then we are going to bear fruits after 100 years.
The District Chief Executive for Birim South, Mr. Emmanuel Kwachi, asked them to pray for the nation to continue to enjoy peace as she goes to the polls next year, adding that diverse opinions in politics should not result in enmity. The Bishop of the Koforidua Diocese of the Church, Most Reverend Joseph Efrifa Jekum, encouraged Christians not to give up in spite of tribulations. Awards were presented to active members of the church. The anniversary celebration was also rounded off with the unveiling of a statue of St. Andrew and a dedication of a church hall to be used for seminars, retreats, and conferences.
The birth of a child is a special moment for most families, and when it happens during the festive season, it is a cause for extra celebration and happiness. GBC24 visited some hospitals in the capital to find out how many children were born on Christmas and Boxing Days.
At the Rich Hospital, out of 46 deliveries, 22 were male and 24 were female. 19 babies were delivered through cesarean section, while 27 were delivered normally. At the Adabraka OPD section of the Rich Hospital, 4 babies were delivered. The team's last stop was the La General Hospital, where 9 children were delivered. Cynthia Kumedu, who delivered on the 25th of December, spoke to GBC24.
I am there somewhere and run boxing days so. I am there. Where box I pay, where football I me pay. Boy, or but want me a football, I want to be a bossa.
Now, it's the last Sunday of the year, December, and also the last Sunday in the month December in the year 2015. As we prepare for the year 2016, here is a review of your weekend pictures. This is the news live on your news channel, GBC24 and GTV. We'll be right back with some more stories. Don't go away. Welcome back. In some international news, Benin's Prime Minister walked away unscathed after the helicopter in which he was traveling crashed in the country's northwest. It is unclear why the helicopter carrying Lionel Zenzu crash-landed in a stadium. Earlier this month, Mr. Zenzu confirmed he would run as a candidate in Benin's 2016 presidential elections. The helicopter crashed while landing at a stadium in the city of Jogu. He said no one in the helicopter was hurt. Mr. Zenzu, a former private equity executive, was appointed Prime Minister of Benin in June. He said he will run for president in February's election as a candidate of the ruling Kauri forces for an emergency Benin party. To the U.S. now, where 11 people are reported to have been killed in tornadoes in Texas, raising the death toll to 29 in a week of storms across several U.S. states. At least 8 people died in Garland near Dallas, 5 of them when their cars were blown off a motorway. 3 bodies were found in other towns. Officials also say West Texas and New Mexico could suffer major blizzards, bringing up to 16 inches of snow. The storms across the south have been unusually powerful for winter. Reports from Texas said churches were destroyed, cars mangled and trees toppled across a 64-kilometer zone from south of Dallas up to suburbs in the northeast. The Red Cross is setting up shelters for those with damaged homes. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back. It's still the news live on your news channel GBC24 and GTV. Government has pledged to support the Kantanka technological product to enable it to multiply the production of vehicles assembled. Vice President Kwesi Arthur, who witnessed this year's technology exhibition in Accra, noted that innovation and technology are prerequisites to development. He says it is therefore important to give Apostle Sappho's innovations a push that will lead Ghana in the way of transformation. Nuto reports.
Every year, the Christo Asafo Mission in Ghana, through its School of Arts and Sciences, holds a technology exhibition. This year, the exhibition stands the host of spectators with a new fleet of Kantanka vehicles assembled locally. It started with a saloon car christened Kantanka Jiwuhudi. To wit, believe in yourself. The car could be sparked just by a clap or wave of the hand. Then came the four-wheel drive Kantanka Onante 4. Vice President Kwesi Arthur inspected with satisfaction the fine finishing of the car. As if that was not enough, another member of the Kantanka family was exhibited, this time around one that could be remote controlled. Then came the Kantanka Otumfo, another all-purpose four-wheel drive. Parts of the vehicle, just like all others exhibited, was assembled here, with most parts locally made. A limousine type, which is driven by the founder of the Christo Asafo, Apostle Kwadwo Sappho himself, was also exhibited. Experiencing this for the very first time, the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Mines and Technology, Professor Jerry Kuma, described the know-how as in-depth. Vice President Kwesi Arthur is the first Vice President to have graced the exhibition since its inception. He felt it was time government supported the technology mission.
Innovation and technology are important in the development of countries. And when we hear the names of the people who have done great innovations in this world, the electric light bulb, we are looking at individuals who changed history. We are looking at individuals all over the world whose vision and whose work, whose application technology changed the world. And we are seeing in Ghana that we also have somebody who is changing the world in our country.
The founder of the mission, Apostle Kwadwo Sappho, said his mission is to promote religion, science and technology for transformation.
Akasaha obi to make camera for necessary one na papa when ha ya ne no na se yesem amra hu se de meye we abesua onu so de ekọ de opeso ya fridge onu so abesua anka mfe aduasa no ni kagana kasesa.
The 35th technology exhibition was attended by scores of people, including political party representatives, chiefs, and renowned academics. Nto Bibini Nto, GBC24, Accra.
In sports, Brahima Kamoko, popularly known as Bukumbanku, executed a 6th round technical knockout over his longtime pal Michael Aite Powers at the Babayara Stadium to bring closure to who is the best in the division in the country. Powers failed to answer the bell for the 6th round after a rather impressive challenge in the early rounds with some overhead punches, but his strength waned as the fight progressed. Despite the disappointing end of the fight, Powers' performance has been described by many as far better than what he exhibited in their first clash at the Accra Sports Stadium last year. Banku has improved to 27 wins, while Powers has dropped to 25 losses, a draw and 21 wins, 17 of which came by way of knockout. Afterwards, Banku said he wanted to end his boxing career in 6 years. He said his next move is to fight Britain for the world title. Bukum Banku was presented with a brand new SUV Range Rover, a ticket for a holiday trip to South Africa, and a cash prize of 10,000 Ghana cedis. In the arts segment, stretching across approximately 21,196 kilometers across northern China, is the longest wall in the world. Like a gigantic dragon that winds up and down across mountains and plateaus, the Great Wall of China, built about 2,300 years ago, is described as one of the greatest wonders of the world. Every year, millions of tourists from across the world visit this attraction to experience the breathtaking process, which is not for the faint-hearted.
Great Wall of China is a significant aspect of China's history. The 21,196-kilometer long wall is a series of fortifications that starts from Hushan in the east to Jiaoyunguan in the west and across the northern borders of China. This piece of defensive architecture stretches across deserts, grasslands, mountains, and plateaus. Construction of the wall was started in the 7th century during the rule of the Qin, Han, and Ming dynasties. The various kingdoms at the time built high walls in their respective territories to protect themselves from enemies from neighboring states. In 221 BC, Sheng Xinguan, who defeated all the various kingdoms and unified China, ordered the soldiers and civilians to consolidate the various high walls into a single wall, which is now the Great Wall. The wall, which is listed as one of the 7 wonders of the world, has 10 sections that winds through 15 cities, provinces, and autonomous regions. It has watchtowers built along the stretch to the top of the mountain. Millions of tourists across the globe throng the various sections of the Great Wall annually to experience what it takes to climb the wall. On a recent visit to the Xuyongguan Pass of the Great Wall, located 60 kilometers from Beijing, many tourists from various countries made an effort to be part of history by climbing the wall. For most of these tourists, climbing the steep stairs to the top was an experience worth its while. Others saw this as an opportunity to exercise their limbs.
That's all right. Okay.
A caution on a signpost that reads, "If you have brain and heart disease, climb to your capability," was an indication that climbing was not for the faint-hearted. This tourist, who says it was his first time climbing the famous Great Wall, was happy he had achieved his aim of climbing to the top.
It was great, and the view up the top is amazing. You can see all around, and you sort of think anyone that was trying to invade can be seen, and by the time they got to the wall, they would be dead from all the hard work they've done to get over the many hills.
Records show
that the best time to visit and climb the Juyongguan pass of the Great Wall is spring. This section stretches from a valley to the top of a mountain, and so one gets to see a beautiful scenery of the green vegetation on the mountains at its east and west walls. The 2014 revenue figures of China's tourism sector show that the country raked in 3.38 trillion yuan, which is about 551 billion US dollars. Without a doubt, the various tourist attractions, such as the Great Wall of China, contributed to this growth.
The Winco Weather Report, brought to you by... with technical support from the Ghana Meteorological Agency.
Good evening, viewers. Welcome to the Winco Weather Report. We are in the festive season. We are wrapping up 2015 to 2016, which is going to be a brand new year for us. And for the first time in the history of Ghana Meteorological Agency, we are able to come out with the weather outlook for 2016. Today we'll just do briefly, but tomorrow Monday I will bring you the full detail of how the year is going to look like weather-wise. And for today, the dry season or the Harmattan is expected to prolong over the whole country. In that case, we are expecting long dry spell over the whole country. And if agriculturalists will interpret it, they will say agricultural drought over most areas, especially over the western flank of the country. Then also we are anticipating that the rain will start late over the southern and the northern sector. So for the general outlook for 2016, this is going to be, but tomorrow Monday I'll bring you the full detail. For the forecast tonight, still dry and hazy, poor visibilities, low humidity over the whole country. Temperature still cold in the night and the morning over the north, relatively cool over the southern sector. The afternoon is going to be a bit warm, but still dry and hazy, with dry winds penetrating over the upper regions, that especially upper east, upper west. The winds will be a bit strong. The dust will still be in suspension with poor visibilities. The southern sector too, still poor visibilities over most areas, full of dust over everywhere. Temperatures will be 32, 34 over the north, 33 over the middle and the coastal strip. So this is going to be from now till tomorrow. Up on the screen is a look out for 48 hours.
And thank you so much for staying on for the news. We'll be back at 10:30 with news tonight. But coming up shortly is Talking Point, and we are discussing whether Christmas has been commercialized. Stick and stay with us and enjoy your evening.